Hi, it's Jessie with Plan with Jessie, and I'm going to do a DIY today on how to make your own Fauxdori without having to sew. Now this is going to be a Feltdori made out of felt, and I came up with this because I don't really sew well. I have a sewing machine, and I have tried in the past to sew, but it's not really for me. It's just, I can never get the hang of even remembering how to thread the bobbin, and so I just wanted something different, something faster, simpler, but that I could still make really cool, fun patterns. Now you might remember, or maybe I'll link below, a Fauxdori I made months and months ago using a plastic notebook for like 3-ring binder. Let me see where it is. I have it here to show you. This one, and this was just 3-ring binder, you know, like you would have in this. It was from the school supply department, and I made that. And this one's nice. I like it. It's sturdy. So that's another option. I'll put that below if you want the tutorial on how to do that. You know, as another option for not having to sew. But today, what I'm going to show you is how I made this. Apparently, there's an owl theme. This is a Feltdori. I made this one, and I made this heart one, and then I also made this animal print. I don't know, what is that? Cheetah? Leopard, cheetah, something. And so I made this one, and I really like them. They're really fast to make and expensive to make. And once you've made one and get the process, it's not difficult at all. So stay tuned if you want to learn how to make them. And here we go. Okay, so let's go over the supplies you're going to need. And I will mention which ones you don't have to have. But what you definitely will need, obviously, is felt. It's going to be a felt cover. So you need 2 pieces, whatever you want the front to be, and then whatever you want the inside to be. So I just did a cream off-white inside to match the sock monkey on here. And felt is very inexpensive. This one was 50 cents at Hobby Lobby. And without the pattern, it was even cheaper. It was $0.25. And then the secret to making this firm, as opposed to just floppy like this, is you're going to need some sort of interfacing. And this is the same thing, it's just 2 different packages. I think this one's a little bit, no, they're exactly the same. This one's just a box. So the beauty of this is that all you need to use is an iron, which most people have. I didn't have, I bought it on Amazon, because I don't iron my clothes. But anyway, so that is what goes in the middle. That's the white you can see here. And that's what makes it stiff. Okay? So those are the things you need. You need 2 pieces of felt, some kind of interfacing that's irons on, and then an iron. Okay. Now this one here was the first one I made, and this one didn't have any extra bling to it. You can see I just poked holes in it. I actually used, let's see, where did I put it? I used this screwdriver and just jammed it through to make the hole. And I didn't use eyelets. As you can see, it's not finished. Now this is the second one I did. I got a little fancier this time around. This, you can see I used the eyelets to make it a little more polished looking. And those also are from Amazon, or you can get them at a craft store. This is what they look like. And they come in different sizes. This is the 5/32 of an inch. And they're just 2 pieces, and one goes on the outside and one goes on the inside, and you pop them together. And you can do it by hand, or they do make these tools like this that can help you. This actually makes holes too. But I actually prefer this for making holes. This is a screw punch. This is actually a Martha Stewart brand. And this I like a little better for making holes. But if you get something like this, you can make holes and punch your eyelets. But again, it's like I said, this isn't necessary because this doesn't have it, and this works fine. It's currently covered in cat hair, but it works fine. And then you will need elastic, some kind of elastic. This elastic I've shown in another video is the 2mm elastic, which I got from Amazon, elastic cord. You can get it at a craft store too, and obviously you can get it in other colors, but you will need some kind of elastic. Let me show you when I first made this one, which I showed at the beginning. I made this out of a notebook. This elastic is actually from the Dollar Tree. It comes in a package like this called Stretch Lace in all these different colors. And this works fine if you don't want it to be sturdier, thicker elastic like this. I mean, this I made months ago and I haven't been using it often, but it's, you know, it still works fine. And you can use that same thin elastic from the Dollar Tree on the inside if you wanted to. So it doesn't have to be expensive. You know, you can try it out to see if you like it, if you like making them very cheaply, like I did with the notebook, or even with this felt, and then you can decide, you know, if you think you're going to be making a lot of them, you can just invest in some more of the, you know, the other add-on tools, okay? So let's get started. So the first step is going to be ironing your felt to the interfacing, and you need to follow whatever instructions are on your package. Mine just says to put the piece of felt, the interfacing, and then the second piece of felt matching up, and then iron them. Maximum dry level, it says. And now I have learned from my few attempts at this that the felt can be very upset by the heat. It's not, you know, it's not as strong as of a fabric as cotton is. So I would recommend putting some kind of cotton over it when you iron, just so you don't ruin the felt. So you're going to iron these 3 pieces together, and then we will cut it out. You want to apply pretty firm pressure, and don't go too fast, because you really want to be able to fuse, you know, get the fabric to fuse together. Then once you get this side all stuck down, then you want to flip it over and do the other side. Of course, one of the great parts of doing it yourself is you can make it whatever size you want. You know, the ones I've made thus far have all been sort of a standard size Fauxdori. But what I want to do today is I want to make a small one using these little notebooks from the Dollar Tree. And these are 3.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So whatever notebooks you want to use, you're going to want to measure those, or you can measure, if you already have a current Fauxdori that you like the size of, you can just measure that and then, or trace it and do it that way, so you know how big to make it. So these are tiny. What did I say? 3.5 by 5.5. I don't know if that's one of the, is that passport size? I'm not sure what the official size would be. So I want to make it a little bit bigger than the notebook. So I think what I will just do is like this, and then trace it. I think that's the easiest way to go. Pencil. I think we'll use that line as it is, like that. And actually, we can use that edge too. That saves me some work. And then, so to make it match, we'll do about like that. And then to make it match underneath, about right there. So that's going to be my little Fauxdori. So I'm going to cut this out. I'm just going to use regular scissors. These are whiskers. But if you had, you know, rolling sewing cutter thing, which I think I have somewhere, I just don't know where it is. I mean, that would work fine too. So I'm going to cut this and be back. Okay, so it is cut, and I think I probably should have made it a little bit wider because it fits the one notebook, but I didn't really think about the fact that I would want more than one notebook. So when you put 2 in, it's starting to push the edge there a bit. So keep that in mind when you're cutting it. You might want to make it wider than you're thinking, just so you have extra space. But for the purposes of this tutorial, this is fine. The next step is to add our holes for our elastic. So you just want to fold it in half, like so. So you know where your center is, okay? Now we're going to put in a hole on either side of the crease here, and the same down here, and then a hole right here, which is going to be for the elastic that wraps around. Now, I'm going to use my fancy Martha Stewart screw punch, but like I said, the first time I did this, I just used this and jammed it through, but for my own sanity, I'm just gonna do this. Now, if you are very particular about things lining up, you probably want to measure this. I don't care, so I'm just gonna do it. If you've never seen a screw punch work, that's how it works. It's all the way through. You just can't, this part didn't go all the way through on this side. Just kind of hang in there. And then you just repeat that for all the holes. Okay, so we have our holes. Yeah, you can see the holes better on this side. Yeah, see, it's not quite lined up, but I don't really care. It'll still work. But that's what the holes look like. Now, as I said before, you can do eyelets or not. This one is done without eyelets, and it's perfectly fine. But if you want a more finished look, I will show you how to do the step of adding the eyelets. It does not take hardly any time at all. So as I said before, the eyelets come in two pieces. This is the one side and this is the other, and they just click together. So I'm just going to do it by hand. So if you don't have the fancy tool, I mean really, that's it. That's all you got to do and it's done. The key to making these work, I've learned, is that you need to make sure your holes are big enough. When I was first doing this, I was making the holes too small, and I was getting extremely frustrated about the eyelets not working. But now that I am making the holes bigger, it's, as you can see, so much easier. And if you want to make sure it's really in there, you can use this tool, which is called something, eyelet stomper, I don't remember. But then it does, you can feel it giving it a little bit extra click than what you were able to do on your own, so I guess it's worth it if you want it to be extra sturdy. Now I just need to do the elastic, which I have here. So what I have done for mine, I mean, there's a lot of different elastic configurations you can do. Different people choose to make them differently, depending on how many elastics you want, that kind of thing. But I like to just do two like this. One elastic through for two strands. So that's how I'm going to show you. Through the back like this, down through like this, up like this. I realized when I was watching this back, editing it, that I didn't show very well how I threaded it. So I will show you better with this example. So you take it, put it through from the outside to the inside of the top, all the way down here, and then through the bottom, inside to outside, and then outside to inside, up through here. And then just cut it and then tie the two pieces together. So that's how it looks. And I'm sorry that it got cut off. I was using a different tripod setup, so that's why you couldn't see it. So again, it just goes from the outside to the inside, from the inside to the outside, from the outside to the inside, back up through here, where it's outside to inside. So it's sort of like loops on each side. See? And then ties in the middle. So it's not too complicated. I just wanted to give you a better visual. So now back to the previous tutorial. And then this one is going to come down this end, and we're going to cut it and tie it there. So I cut it quite a bit longer than I'm going to need, just so that I don't cut it too short and have to redo it all. So I just usually knot it and then test it with the notebook. See if I like the, whoopsie, we came untied. Do better than that. Okay. So if I like how it feels, if I want it tighter. And see, since I do have two, if I wanted to do, I could put a second book over here. Oh, that's cute. That's grid. I didn't know that was going to be grid. See, like that. I can have one on each and do like that. Yeah. So I think that elastic is fine. You might want a tighter elastic. If you want a tighter elastic, you can do that tighter. So all you'd have to do, since I haven't double knotted yet, you just untie it and tie it tighter. Yeah. And then once you have it how you want to double knot it. And then trim this down so it's not dangling all over the place. Okay, so that's that. Okay, and so now we just need to do the elastic for the outside, which is also super easy. I'm not sure how long I'm going to need because I've never made this size before, so I'm just going to do, I don't know, how long is this? Where's my ruler? This is about a foot, I think. Yeah, almost exactly a foot. Okay. Probably not going to need this much, but you just take your length and fold it in half like this. So you have the two loose ends there. And then you want to fit those through the hole like that. See, this is going to be what wraps around. So then you just want to tie your knot over here. Again, just do a single knot until you know if it's what you want or not. Let's put a notebook in and see if that is a good length on the outside elastic. Yeah, looks good. It's nice and tight. So then you would want to go back in and double knot this so that it stays. Because if it comes undone, then the book's not going to stay closed and this is going to pop right out through the hole. And again, you can trim this down if you don't want the excess. These are not my good scissors. These are my good scissors. Okay. Alright, so that is it. That is my Fauxdori, my Feltdori for a 3.5 by 5.5 inch notebook. Open it up again. There you have it. Very cute. Again, this is not a super complicated Fauxdori cover. There's no pen loop, there's no pockets, but if you want to be able to make cute things like this, if you're like me and you want to switch from, you know, owl to heart to leopard because you get bored, I mean, this is the way to go. Like how it looks, so give it a try. Make your own Feltdori, see what you think. Let me know